Hey folks, this is Matt Chat and this is my plywood canoe building adventure. It was supposed to be a cheap 2-week project, but instead it took a couple of months. I ended up building 2 canoes, built a canoe carrying dolly, a boat rack for my truck, and a hanging system for canoe storage. I made tons of mistakes and probably would have given up if it weren't for the money I had already spent. It became an amazing adventure, all for a canoe I wasn't sure I was going to use.
I've also been trying to think about how to put a piece of wood at the front here. I want to make it out of ash, or that ash-like wood. I'm pretty sure it's ash. After I sanded it and everything, it didn't look so much like oak. It does look more like ash. Anyways, I want to put a piece here that's going to be curved here. Now normally you'd either steam bend a piece, or you'd make a piece that was laminated in all sorts of thin little slices, glue them all together with the shape pre-made in there, and then put it on. I don't want to do any of that. I just want to take a piece of ash and sort of lay it out sort of like this and use that as a template to cut out my curve on. So yes, I will cut it straight out of a straight piece of wood. However, some people say it'll break. Yes, it could break if you hit something. But that's if you hit some big rock and white water rafting or something like that, or canoeing. That's crazy. I'm never going to do that. I'm not going into any white water. So what I'm going to be doing here is this is going to hit sand on the beach and the odd rock at the edge and that type of thing. And I think it'll be fine for that, and I think it'll be able to handle the shock, particularly when it's all glued up to this piece and braced by it. It's going to have nowhere to go, and it's going to be quite a solid piece of wood. Look, and considering how that little piece I have in the middle is solid, this will be a bit more substantial, I suspect. But how do you put it on this? And I've come up with this idea of doing 2 pieces that I can slam together and glue with the this shape cut out of it or routed out previously. So that's my original idea. So now I've got to somehow mark this on some paper or cardboard, and then start transferring that to some wood. Alright, so I've got some cardboard here. I've got 2 pieces, one for each side. And I think that I'm just going to adjust that so it's just touching at the top here. I'll know that. Oh, I think it's pretty good. I think I got my curve. Well, I figure I may as well cut this shape out. No sense doing it any other way. Having a hard copy of my curve is going to be the best way to transfer the template. And with this cardboard being rigid, once I make it, it's going to be fairly stiff. I'm not cutting deep enough to go through. I'm just going to make a second pass. There we go. And I'm going to label that as the front, because I don't want to mix it up with the back. And here's my second template. So that's the back. So let's cut this out. Front and back, just for the fun of it, let's see how close they are together. Well, they're certainly not the same. So I guess it's good that we're making different ones, eh? They're certainly not the same. You can see that, quite the difference in gap there. Alright, so we've got them, they're marked. And now we know what we need to cut out of our wood. Let's see if we can do that. Well, after some reflection, I decided that I wasn't going to try to cut any pieces of wood to shape to the front and back of the canoe. It looks like a lot of work and quite difficult to achieve successfully. So what I decided to do was to rip a lot of little pieces of my ash on a piece that was almost a waste piece. I got this much here. I figure about half and half for each side. And I'm going to try to steam bend these and glue them together in a form. Now, I'd already cut my forms out of cardboard like this, so I figured I use these as templates, and I transferred them to some plywood. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you can see the pattern on there. So I'm going to cut these out with the bandsaw, and these can become my clamps. These are definitely wider than the wood, so I'll definitely be able to use these as my molds to make both. And they should be easy to clamp once I've got them together. So I'll have to devise a steamer. Never done that, but I've seen some videos, and I think I can devise something fairly straightforward and simple, nothing complicated. So this is ready for the pieces to come clamped in here. I've decided to clamp them in here, not glue them, just get the shape. And then I can glue them and clamp them again. So I've made a steamer. Let's go look at that. There we are. I don't know if you can see the steam coming out. Do a little zoom on the... Yeah, there's steam out there, all right. All right, so I'm going to push some pieces in there. You only do 6 at a time, which is good because that's one thing. That's hot in there. So I'm going to leave it in there for maybe, I don't know, 10 minutes. And then we're going to try to clamp it. All right, so I got my piece of steamed wood here, just putting on some gloves just to protect my hands. Alright, let's see what we can do. Can't even accept that. Ugh, the whole thing slid and is in the wrong position. There, that's a bit better. Well, I'd say that's pretty good success. Pretty happy with that. Good morning. So I've left these dry overnight. I'm sure that they've got a proper form taken. And now I'm about ready to glue. I've been thinking about the glue. And I have a choice with the different glues, right? I can use white glue. I can use the Gorilla Glue that I have. But neither of them appeal to me for different reasons. The Gorilla Glue, I'm just not as enamored with it as I have been. It seems to have a way it can let go and
I don't like that. The white glue is not really waterproof. It's solid, but it's not waterproof. I've been thinking maybe I have enough material left in my cans of resin, and I could mix some resin, one final batch out of the can, and use that batch to make these. I checked into the can, and indeed I have some resin left. It's enough for a healthy little batch here. So I am going to mix in my hardener, whatever hardener I have left, and make my glue and seal this up. Of course, I got my wax paper because I don't want to glue all this to my molds. The wax paper layer first, the wax paper at the end. That's what we're gonna do anyway, so let's get on with it. Good morning. Yesterday I went out to, I had to take a break from the actual work. I had to do some accounting in the morning, and in the afternoon I went out and bought the new supplies. Interestingly enough, when you want to buy some smaller quantities of epoxy, if you buy 1/4 the amount, you're going to pay at least 1/3 the price. So if you buy 2 quarts, you end up not paying half the price, but 2/3 of the price. Actually, it's more than 2/3. It's more than a third. It's maybe 35% or 40%. I'm not sure, but it's pretty close because I was $30 off from buying 1 gallon if I bought 2 quarts, and that's not a big difference. So I saw no sense in buying two, half a gallon, when $30 more got me a full gallon. So that's what I did. Anyway, on to I also stopped off at the dollar store and bought more paintbrushes because I was going through them fairly quickly, and I found myself being careful and trying not to waste the paintbrushes, and that's just ridiculous. For the sake of spending $1.50 at the dollar store and getting another paintbrush, I'm just going to do that. So I bought 10 of them, I think, and that should last me till the end of the project. So if we take a look over here, this is the clamp from the other day, which I've left clamped up there. It's all been glued up, and let's see what it looks like when we take it apart. Well, that was under some stress. See that pop up like that? That was pretty bad. Well, the wax paper does its job, as usual. There we go. It does glue a little bit, but it's not glued to the wood. There you go, 90%, 99% of it. Good, and let's take a look at that. Oh, that's not too bad. Okay, so let's see if it bends. I absolutely cannot bend this. This is rock solid. Rock solid. So let's go see if it fits on the canoe. Well, that's not a bad fit. Not bad at all, I have to say. Pretty good, so we can keep going. The other one on the other side is not quite as good. It's got a bit of a gap at the bottom. I'll have to end up doing some sanding, I think. But not bad for this. That's going to be it for this part of my canoe building adventures. I want to thank you for joining in, and I want to remind you not to forget to subscribe to my channel. Hopefully we'll find a lot of progress in the next episode. See you soon.